play? Come to our yard. New Thought Media Network spotlights you. Saturdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Spirit Says Sing. Our stage is open for musicians, singers and speakers, visual artists. Shine with us live. It's easy. Just click the link in the comments and be ready to soar. Spirit Says Sing. New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
Good afternoon, and this is Gina. I am, as you can see, not Reverend Lisa, and I am here because she's actually having difficulties coming through. She is having a hard time going through. The internet is just not working for her today, and sometimes life just happens that way. She's going to try to come through with her phone and see if that's going to help, but at the moment, you are here with me, so I am grateful to be here with you. And if you are looking for some inspiration, I know she had some wonderful slides and everything, such great message for you, and know that she is right now trying to get to you right as we speak. Today is May 5th, and while we are here, I'm going to give you some inspiration, because I can't be here with you and not have something to give you. So this morning, Science of Mind magazine was absolutely amazing, and I'm going to share it with you because it really was an inspiration to me and a reminder of mind over matter. Now this month, actually, the person who's doing the writing, for the articles in this month's Science of Mind magazine is Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen, and truly amazing. So I encourage you to, just have a listen. My thoughts are the key to the safe, is the name of the top of it. Now, for those of you that don't read the Science of Mind magazine, I encourage you to think about it. It comes up monthly, and it is wonderful. Every month has a different theme, and each one is amazing. So it says, remember that in difficult times, we don't give up. We don't discard our highest ideals. No, we rise up to meet them. And that's actually Michelle Obama. And the second quote is from Ernest Holmes. Religious science is the science of correct thinking and living. Being a science of correct thinking, it is a science of health, happiness, and success. It is the science of being. And the message from Reverend Sorensen says an entrepreneur was in debt and couldn't figure a way out. Payroll was due. People depended on him. Creditors were calling. He sat on a park bench, head down, contemplating how to save the company from bankruptcy, when an old man appeared and heard his story. The old man said, "I can help you." He wrote the entrepreneur's name on a check and said to the meet you back here 1 year from today to repay me. With that, he handed over the check and disappeared. The entrepreneur was amazed to see the check was written for $500,000 and signed by John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest people in the world. The guy felt he could end all his problems instantly with this money, but instead chose to place the check on his safe. Just as he thought of being able to, just the thought of being able to fall back on it gave him the strength and the courage to find solutions. Within a couple of months, he was out of debt, and within a few more months, the company was profitable again. 1 year later, he returned to the same park at the same time with the same check, excited to share his story of success. Just as the old man returned, so did a nurse chasing after him, saying, "I'm happy I caught him. I trust he wasn't bothering you. He always runs away from the home and tells people in the park that he's John Rockefeller." Amused, he realized that when he thought he had $500,000 to fall back on, he was business bold. Clearly, it wasn't the money making the difference, but rather his belief had shifted him to successful living. How would your belief shift if you knew you could access infinite resources? So yes, the affirmation that goes with that is, I now access and circulate God's abundance for my life. Again, I now access and circulate God's abundance in my life. So, just like this man, when it comes to our lives, are we living boldly? Are we living in a way that is exciting us? Are we living in a way that we are being all that we're called to be? Or are we waiting for something to happen? Because what if something went wrong? We get the choice in everything that we think. So being here, right now, I am knowing that Reverend Lisa is trying to make her way to us. She made it in and then wasn't. So she's still having technical difficulties. So I want you to know that she is doing all she can to get here with you and for you. And she's popping in right as we speak, and I'm adding her into the stream.
Oh my goodness.
There you are.
Wow.
We were talking about being bold. That's absolutely, be in that place of, when we know that we cannot fail, that Spirit has everything we need waiting for us. When we know that, how bold, it's easy to be bold when you have everything you need.
Yes.
It's easy to be bold when everything looks, is working out just fine, just like the internet. So I'm going to hand your show back over to you now.
Wow.
I'm going to go back behind the scenes. Have a fabulous day.
You're fantastic, Gina. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Lots of love.
Thank you. Pardon for the technical difficulties. Holy cow. I don't know, something wacky going over here in Colorado. My connection's just not working, but it is working on my phone. So yay. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. And welcome to Igniting Your Inner Dazzle. So my question for you today is, would you like to experience more peace in your life? Are you tired of feeling rushed all the time and not ever having a peaceful moment to yourself? Can any of you relate to that? I definitely think that I can. Do you ever feel like you're running from like one thing to the next and you're just like a robot, and you never ever take any time for yourself or take a moment to have an actual mindful moment? So my that's my question for you. And so of course, many of you know I am Reverend Lisa, ordained minister. I'm a spiritual coach and a speaker, and I'm here to support you with this. So the idea behind the Inner Dazzle, I always just like to pop that in real quick, is that the Igniting the Inner Dazzle is really about you finding that connection to your inner dazzle, that connected part, that part of us that comes from the deepest, most sacred place, that part of us that knows how to be peaceful, that knows what to do next, that part of us that truly can shine from within. So my job is to help you connect with your inner dazzle as I am connecting with mine. That is what our purpose is to find our inner dazzle and live a life of authenticity. That's what we're here to do. So my question for you again, in a different way, would be, as a mom or a dad, or really, I focus on a lot of times working with millennials, but this question really applies to anybody. So, are you tired of feeling rushed all the time without a moment to yourself? Do you ever have a mindful moment in your day, during your day? Do you have mindful moments with your family, possibly with one of your children, or a spouse, or even with yourself? Do you ever take time to create mindful moments in your life? If you have, let me know what they are. Share in the chat. So another question that I thought of was, at the end of the day, do you even remember what you did that day? Do you even know what went on during the whole day? And do you remember? A lot of times at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, this day just went so fast. I don't even know what what ends up. Um, it's definitely a question that you want to ask yourself and really, really check into yourself. So the idea behind that is not being aware of what's going on all day, is to create more aware moments in your life. So of course, it made me think of my life, and my situation, or my life is, I'm a single mom with a 12-year-old, and so we have very busy days many of the time. We run, of course, mornings is school, and then pick her up, and then a lot of times we have soccer practice. So we're running back and forth to soccer practice. We're running back and forth on the weekend to friends' house. We have sleepovers. We have shopping. Then she spends time at her dad's house, so there's a lot of running around that goes on. So sometimes I do have that feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just going from one thing to the next, and I don't have time to create a mindful moment in my life. So I have a couple of tips for you. And this is tip number one is to create more awareness. So the idea is that we really want to think about creating more awareness in our lives. So tip number one would be create and listen to, not necessarily create, but I have created a 1-minute pause. Yes, create more awareness. We want to do a 1-minute pause. These 1-minute pauses are designed for you to actually take one whole minute where you just sit and you just be present. And you can find these 1-minute pause on my YouTube channel, Inner Dazzle LLC. You can connect with that right there. My second tip, second idea in creating more awareness in your life is to ask for help. I know we think we just want to try to do it all and be all, but you know what? We can ask for help. We can reach out. We can even delegate. A lot of times, people that have bigger families, it's great to delegate. Delegate to the older kids. Delegate to your spouse. Delegate to even family members. Maybe you have an aunt or an uncle or cousins that you can delegate things to, because it's not about us trying to do everything all the time. And I think that's what happens a lot of times for moms, especially because we feel like we have to be super mom. And take on as many things as we can. And, we always say yes to everybody. And therefore, we are not creating any mindful moments in our life. So I want you to think twice about that. So it's important to ask for help. One of the things that worked for me, and I just did it recently, I actually asked one of my fellow soccer player dads if we could carpool with the girls. So I did this just yesterday. It was great. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have an extra hour to myself. Fantastic, easy thing to do. We ask for help. You can send carpools, you can delegate. And then number 3 is you want to create more time for you. The idea is creating more time for you, because that's really what ultimately is important. Because when we create more time for ourselves, even if it's a moment here and there, you will feel more joy in the moment and in your life. Super important, because if we can feel more joy and more connected to ourselves, we will then be able to express it to our friends and our family and everybody that we're around. So extremely important. And I think, it's just something we want to think about. So I have quote number 1. I have a quote for you that I would like to share. This is a really great quote, and this is by Eckhart Tolle, and he has written the book, The Power of Now. And he says, through self-observation, more presence comes into your life automatically the moment that you realize that you are not present. But when you realize that you are not present, you are present. Whenever you are able to observe the mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Another factor has come in, something that is not out of the mind. Witnessing the presence. Witnessing the presence. Definitely a beautiful thing. Yes, this book, The Power of Now. You guys need to get this book. This is fantastic. It's a little bit older book, but this Eckhart Tolle is super, super amazing author. And this book has really, really changed my life. I read it back many years ago, and I use it and refer to it all the time. It's a beautiful book. It has some really great things in it. So speaking of that, there was another little thing I wanted to read in here to you guys that connects with quote 1, with the first quote. So in order to break the pattern of the present, he calls it present moment denial, which means we're just not even realizing that we have a present moment, like there's no awareness. So he says, to break the old pattern of present moment denial and present moment resistance, make it a practice to withdraw your attention from the past and the future whenever they are not needed. Step out of the time dimension as much as possible in everyday life. Do you feel like that's something you can do? Think about that. Where in your life can you just slip in a little pocket of stepping out of that time dimension and having a moment for you, creating a mindful moment for yourself? If you find it hard to enter the now directly, start by observing the habitual tendency in your mind that you may want to escape from the now. You will observe that the future is usually imagined as either better or worse than the present. If the imagined future is better, it gives you hope or pleasurable anticipation. But if it's worse, it creates anxiety. Both are illusory. The idea is that we want to get out of always thinking past or future. We want to bring ourselves into the now. Bring ourselves into this present moment. That's key. That is the key. And he goes on to say, I have one more little piece. Be present as the watcher of your mind. And I like to call it my observer. So think about what word works best for you. I like to call it my observer. The observer of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions to various situations. Be at least interested in your reactions in the situation or the person that causes you to react. Don't judge or analyze, just observe. You will then feel something more powerful than any of these things that you observe. The still, observing presence itself behind the content of your mind, the silent watcher, or the observer, as I like to say. So it's definitely important that we begin to create this new awareness in our lives. So another question I have for you would be, do you feel like you have a really challenging time finding these moments for yourself? Do you ever find yourself saying, "Ugh, well, I just never have a moment to myself. When do I get to do something for me? Why do I feel so tired all the time? And why am I always doing something for everybody else?" Do you ever find yourself stuck in that pattern? I find myself doing that. And so that's what I have learned over time, to create these mindful moments. Because when we get caught up in all of these ideas and frustrations and complaints, it's time to step back and be the observer and begin to be aware of these type of thoughts. Have you ever find yourself saying in the morning, okay, I'm going to schedule some time for myself today. I'm going to do it. But then the day goes on, we have 5 million things that we're doing, and then no time is put aside for yourself. And then we feel bummed, we feel disappointed, we feel frustrated. It's about prioritizing a little time for yourself. So I want you to really consider prioritizing some time for you and set it up ahead of time. Get your schedule out, and create time for yourself during the week. So tip number 2, I have another tip for you, and it's still based on creating mindful moments for yourself. And it's with this new awareness, which is so fantastic. So these are the things I want you guys to try. So in creating mindful moments for yourself with new awareness, number 1, we're going to listen to our heartbeat. And matter of fact, I want you guys to do that with me right now. We're just going to take a moment. So everybody, just stop what you're doing. Just listen to this. Listen to your heartbeat for a moment. So when you put your hands on your heart, whether you're sitting, standing, hopefully you're not driving, put your hands on your heart and close your eyes. Put your hands on your heart, close your eyes just for a moment. We're just going to experience a mindful moment right now. Take a deep breath in with me. Deep breath in. And listen to the sound of your heartbeat. Can you connect to it? Do you feel it? Do you hear it? All it takes is one moment. One moment. I invite you to try this, practice this many times, and it gets easier the more you practice it. So that's just creating a moment. Listen to your heartbeat. Put your hands on your heart and listen. Another idea would be, in creating a mindful moment for you, is to look at a candle. I have a beautiful candle right here. I wanted to share this with you. I love this big candle. You just look into the flame. You see it? Just look into that flame. Just breathe. Breathe mindfully. Candles can be mesmerizing. I love them. They're wonderful. That's why I always have them lit. You'll always see me with candles in most of my programs. Candles, easy way to connect. Easy way to have a mindful moment. Gaze at a candle, and then don't forget to blow it out. And then the third mindful moment tip would be to listen to your breath, just as we did with the heartbeat. You can put your hands on your heart and just take a nice deep breath. You want to do a belly breath. You want to connect with your belly. Connect that air. You're going to let that air just fill it up. So you get like a little Buddha belly. Just breathe in with me now. Breathe in and release. Breathe in. Ah, I love taking deep breaths. And the wonderful thing about deep breaths is you can really do it anywhere. And of course, we need to anyway because we have to breathe. But you can do it if you're having a moment of stress. Stop and breathe. Stop and take a breath. You can even go if you need to, if you're at work and you need to run into the bathroom and just run into a stall and just close the stall. Just be in there. Be with yourself. Be with your heart. Be with your belly. Do a belly breath and just breathe and take a moment for yourself. It's super important. And you'll begin to notice as you begin to create these mindful moments with yourself, they become new habits. We create new awareness. And what that brings, you know what that brings? That brings more peace in your life. That's what we all want, right? More peace in our lives. So that is what I suggest for you. Let's see. So I have another quote for you that's beautiful. Quote number 2, and this is still in creating. This is actually in the other book. This is in Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a sweet little book. It's just a little tiny book. Tiny book. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's super thin, but it's beautiful. So I have a quote for you. So when we live our lives, when we often become, when we often become so busy that we forget what we are doing or even who we are, I know someone who says he even forgets to breathe. I was just talking about that. We forget to look at the people we love and appreciate them until it's too late. So it's kind of a sad thought, but it's a true thought. And it really helps me bring myself into the present moment and realize how important it is to take time to be mindful, take time to connect with yourself, take time to connect with your family, with your friends, whoever is most important to you. And, the good news about all this really is that the outcome is that when you do live your life in awareness, it helps you in every area of your life. You'll find that you have more peace. You'll have more calm in your life. You'll have more joy in your life. And of course, the good news about that is that we can share that with others. We want to share it with others. Super important. Super important. Yes. For sure. Yes. So I have tip 3. It's your last tip, and then we're going to wrap it up. So tip 3, we're going to talk about creating more harmony in your life. The idea is still connected with creating mindful moments. Of course, the last little piece is to feel the peace and balance within you. So the outcome of creating mindful moments in your life is that you're going to create and feel more peace and more balance within you. The next thing is you're going to have less stress in your life. Would you like to have less stress? Let me know what you need more of or what you would like less of. Put it in the chat. Let me know. Less stress. Super important. And another cool thing in creating a new level of awareness like this, in creating mindful moments, is that you begin to notice the little things. You notice the little things. And that could be something as small as, something that you think or say or do, or it could be something that one of your children says or does that's just super precious, and it's just a little fleeting moment. It could be something sweet that one of your pets does. So, when we spend time with our little animals, our fur babies, they oftentimes are just super precious, and it's great to be in the moment with them. So it's creating ease and grace in your life, and I think we can all use more of that, right? Wonderful. Well, I have one last quote for you, and then we'll wrap it up. And this also comes from The Power of Now. This is super, super fantastic book by Eckhart Tolle. He says, as soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve. Life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of the present moment, awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, of care, and of love, even in the most simple action. Wonderful, wonderful. So that is your message. That is your lesson for today. And that is about being able to create mindful moments. And that helps us connect to that inner dazzle, that inner part of ourselves that is just in a super, super beautiful place. Peace, harmony, love, joy, all those wonderful qualities. They live within inside you. They're right in here. That is your inner dazzle. And I want you to connect with it today. So if you have any questions or thoughts, or you would like to spend a little time with me, certainly give me a call. You can connect with me on my email. That is lisa@innerdazzle.com. lisa@innerdazzle.com. Send me an email. We can schedule some time to visit. I do a free 30-minute session, so you can sign up with me there, and we can start right there. You can also find me on Facebook on my Rev Lisa page, and that is Spiritual Resource. You can go in there to facebook.com/spiritual resource, and that's what I have, is spiritual resources for you. And I think that is about it. Don't forget to subscribe to Inner Dazzle LLC. That's important. And also, don't forget to send me a donation if you would like. If you're so inspired, you can send it to Venmo at RevLisa1. Venmo at RevLisa1. Also, you can always support our beautiful, beautiful ministry we have here. This is New Thought Media Network, and I am here broadcasting live from New Thought Media Network, and we are so blessed to have them. They're just we have such a wonderful team. So you can go to ntmedia.org and click donate there, and we appreciate all your tithes and your gifts. Thank you so much for joining me today, and know and recognize that our time together truly is a celebration of your empowerment. And always like to say, leave them dazzled by your presence. And next week, join me for, this is Mindfulness May, and we will be talking about putting your phone down. So join me next week for that. Thank you so much, and peace and blessings. And I will see you soon. See you next week.
New Thought Media